So the reason I wanted you to read those two chapters of the London Hang, I hope I've tried to explain. I wanted you to read the last chapters of the Magna Carta Manifesto because I think our revolutionary project, the project for our future, is to reconstitute the classes that make up our society. I want to use the word constitution not just in a legal term, but also in a social term. What are the classes constituting this society, this empire? How can we define them? And how can we reconstitute ourselves as a conscious study, conscious deeds that we must make for the future? Already, as we look around the world, people are doing this already. In Baghdad, in Oaxaca, of course, in Chiapas, in the Bolivarian Constitution, in Bolivia. And the time is going to come when we must do it. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'd like to think about. And the point of the Magna Carta Manifesto was to go to what at one time was the most conservative part, a racist part of the American tradition, it being Anglo-Saxon even, to use the backward racist terms that were prevalent in the 19th century, that has had a racial effect, a criminal effect, this Magna Carta, in the history of American law, in the history of the Supreme Court. I wanted to go to that and to challenge it in the name of the commons. And it has some use. It's been of some use. What happened after 1971 in that process of criminalization, among other things, was a removal of young activists into law schools. And in the law schools, became entangled in law and in legal debates in the law school, where there was a movement, the critical legal studies movement of the early 1970s, that failed to challenge successfully because it had lost its relationship to the movement. That relationship to the movement must mean a relationship to prisons. Or L.D. Barclay and his call for the abolition of the prisons, that was part of the legacy of Attica of 1971, will be is dismissed without even a discussion. I'm not yet prepared to do a critical history of the critical legal studies movement, but I would like us to do it. I need to do it. I need help with it. I would like to find young scholars or young here at the law school or at other law schools in Toledo or wherever they are to begin this study, to do this in such a way that we can be sure of our knowledge, but also we can explain it in a simple way that anyone can understand. Because the current regime of law, from Chief Justice, what's his name, Roberts, not Scalia, not Thomas, but the other one, who's the other one? The other right-wing fellow they have up there. They are students who were formed against that critical studies movement. Just like our man Summers is a student of Hayek's. What I'm feeling is that these guys are within our grasp. This thought they have is bankrupt. They are inadequate, insufficient, and unable to solve the problems that human beings are facing now. And if they can't do it, who can? That's what I ask of us. You know? And we have help around the planet. People are willing. Okay, that's 20 minutes. So I mean, what I tried to do was to talk a little bit about Magna Carta Manifesto, and a little bit about the London Hanged, why I did them, a little bit about the transition from them, between them. See, it wasn't just critical legal studies that went into the universities and got lost. There's also the radical political economists. You know, Earpy also did the same. The universities opened up. Our movement caused the universities to open up, caused the universities to expand. There's a working class demand in the 60s and 70s, and they did. Then, within the universities, there comes the demand, there's the period of identity politics. I am going a bit earlier than that, you see. I'm trying to recall to us, now that we all see that identity politics is insufficient. By identity politics, what I mean is the righteous demand for equality among ethnic groups and genders. That's what I meant by identity politics. And that's a struggle. But I'm returning to another struggle because the problems of subsistence have not been, that George Jackson called for in his letters from Soledad prison. He called for understanding. He said every person born in America is entitled to learn how to understand, to have a roof over the head, to have food, to have health care, to have dignity. He called for that. Libby was asking, why was George Jackson an important American Marxist? Those are some of the reasons. And he said that every society, and this is his knowledge, I mean, we might wish to qualify it or add to it or amplify it. He believed that every society in the past had guaranteed that to its children. But the United States of America did not. Moreover, it's proud in not doing so. I mean, the class war in the United States, the class divisions are so serious that there are those who take pride in the development of ignorance, in homelessness. I mean, and we've seen this kind of attitude in Summers, you know, just to name one. So I do mean to personalize it a little bit, you know, but I realize that Marxism is also a study of classes. So that remains for us to do as well. Yeah, so,
Peter,
yeah.
I wanted to maybe just kind of start a discussion. I wanted to ask you just really fast, there was a part that I missed. When you're talking, you were saying that the London Hanged is about the transition to the irrationality of the wage, or the irrational wage. But there was something in there that I missed about the it's about the transition to the customary forms. Did you say customary forms of domination or labor or something like that, or
Customary forms of remuneration.
okay, customary forms of remuneration. Okay.
Brian, yeah.